Hi guys, what's going on? It's Malu here. I just want to talk to you about Apple's production of their products and assembly of their products in China and the US. Before I want to get into that, I just wanted to tell you guys about a great YouTube community started by MKBHD, which is he's an awesome YouTuber, and him there. I'm pretty sure you've heard of his channel. He makes great stuff, but you can just go ahead and check that out. It's a great YouTube community. You can probably uh, ask people for some advice and whatever. So yeah, that's about it. There's nothing else about that. I'll leave a link in the description or probably an annotation somewhere. And yeah, so yeah, let's talk about Apple producing in the US. So Apple wants to produce, like what I mean by produce is manufacture I'm not sure if they want to manufacture their products, such as like the internal parts, and assemble it in the US, or they just want to assemble it in the US. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. So the thing is, I'm not sure if Tim Cook confirmed this, but he suggested that he wanted to assemble, or make components in the US. So the internals. As you guys know that Foxconn makes all of the internals. Well, most of the I'm pretty sure it's all of the internals for the iPhone, iPad. I think for all the Macs. I'm not sure about the Macs, but I know for all the handheld devices, it's by Foxconn. And you can probably, if you've ever opened up an iPod or anything, you would see Foxconn engraved in the in some of the metal. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that I don't think this is a very good idea. And before I get into why it's not a good idea, and I think it's a stupid idea for Apple, uh, the reason why you would, well, first of all, they did used to manufacture their PCs. I can't remember what the names was. They were like a white. It was like a white all-in-one PC, and it kind of looked like a TV, but it was all white and it had the Apple thing where the disk drive was. It was at the front. I can't remember the name exactly, but it was for uh, more for educational purposes and stuff. It was in schools and stuff. But anyway, that's beside the point. That was the last one made in the US. But it's obvious why they wanted to produce and assemble their products overseas. One is cheaper labor. Two, parts are cheaper. And yeah, that's about it. And the point of business is, well, in this kind of business is you want to make as much profit as you can. Obviously, in any business you want to make as much profit as you can. But the thing is, they wanted to cut their production costs, and they wanted to cut their labor fees as much as they can. And what I mean by that is, obviously, if you had workers in the United States producing and assembling these things, it would cost a lot. And as a result of that costing a lot, the prices of the products when they're sold in the market would cost a significant amount, or well, significantly more than it would cost from producing in China. And that's because American workers have to be paid like a lot more. Minimum wage is higher probably. I'm pretty sure minimum wage is higher. You gotta pay for sick days, you gotta pay for all this stuff, insurance, whatever. I'm not sure of all the things, but I'm just sure that American workers, or like any workers in, let's say, Australia or whatever, it costs a lot more. And especially just producing these products, just producing them alone will just cost more. So let's say if we have a iPhone that was produced let's say an iPhone cost $100 to produce in China, it would probably cost $200 to produce in and assemble in the United States. And as a result of that, the prices that Apple will sell these phones would cost, it would be much, much higher. And what they're trying to do is make as much profit as they can and produce it for the smallest amount they can. So if they can produce it for $50, they'll obviously go for $50 instead of $200. Or what did I say before? $100. If you can go for $100, you would obviously produce it for $100 and get it assembled and whatever, and sell it for a maximum profit. You don't want to, skimp on these things, because Apple isn't worth 100 and something billion for nothing. This is just it's just business, and I think it's a very, 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 very stupid thing to do, to which is bring in the production in the US. Even though I think it's a very good thing that it will open up jobs for a lot of people in the United States, I think it's a very stupid thing for business, just from a business standpoint, because you would have to pay these workers much more. You would have to increase the price of the products when you're selling them, and let's face it, Apple's products are already expensive. So if we just browse through the site right here, we can just go on the Mac Pro. That's the most expensive product they have, I think. Yeah, it is. It's like $3,000 or something. It's freaking expensive. Yep. Well, the server's 3,600. A 12-core PC is about 4,600. So that's a lot. And imagine if this was produced and assembled in the United States. This computer would cost much, much more. Much, much more. And I don't think a lot of people buy it because, people have to sit like the people that I see using Macs a lot are people in their teens. Well, yeah, people in their teens and just young adults, like in the 20s to 30s, and usually, well, yeah, usually teens probably have like part-time jobs or whatever, and they have to save. You have to save a lot for one of these products. Like I'm not it's pretty expensive in my opinion. Like if you were to go for a MacBook Pro, you probably at least spend $2,000. That's a lot of work. And if that Mac was $3,000 or $4,000, it's probably not $4,000, but $3,000, $3,500 for the standard model, I don't think a lot of people would go for it because it's just a lot of work. And at the end of the day, you'll see that it's not worth it. So I don't think Apple should head down this road, even though I like the idea of a lot of Americans getting some jobs and stuff. I just, from a business standpoint, I don't think it's a good thing to do. It's bad for business. You'll lose a lot of money. This is another thing on Gizmodo that I read. Now, obviously, a lot of people in China that it's very cheap to produce these because minimum wage is lower. I don't think they have sick days or whatever. They don't have all of these things that people in first world countries or like in the West, I would say, get, or the benefits, and that's why it's easier to produce, cheaper to produce, and but I'm not sure about the Foxconn suicides. I've heard about them, but if someone could just briefly fill me in the comments below. I'm not actually sure about the Foxconn suicides. I'm not sure why people commit suicide in Foxconn. From what I've heard, they get paid quite a high amount compared to all the other people in China. Well, like in these small jobs in factories, they get paid pretty well compared to other factory workers, if you would classify Foxconn as a factory. But I'm not sure about the suicides and stuff. So if someone could fill me in. I know that one person committed suicide because they lost a prototype of one of the iPhones and then they just committed suicide. So thank you guys for watching. Please give me your opinions down below. Again, I don't really, it's not my intention to take away jobs from the people from the US. I'm just trying to inform you guys that it's, it's just business. And in business, you just try to maximize your profits. You don't want to. If you could make $200 at the end, let's say if I could make $200 at the end of the day, obviously I'll take the $200 instead of making the $50 because more profit. Your share prices are higher. It's awesome. So thank you guys for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Tell me what you thought of this video, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.